This is an image of Muslim men branding their slaves. This one is an image of children and women in chains held captive by Muslims. So I had a dream back in 2014. I posted this video on September the 8th, 2014. This is 2016 now, right? This is before we started hearing about all the atrocities that ISIS was committing and what they do to their women. If you research Sharia law, infidels, people who are not Muslims, they have full rights according to their Quran to do whatever they want to do to any woman who is not a believer in Islam. Well, the things that happened in Cologne were the mass rapings and all that kind of stuff. I was alarmed to see these things happening because I did have this dream. I want to just play a clip of the dream. You'll see that according to the things that are happening now, that this is so possible. So here I go. I want you to hear this.
Window. There's a little boy, and he's sitting in a chair, and it's a little blonde-haired boy, and he's tied up, and he's got a gag over his mouth, and he looks terrified. He looks absolutely terrified. In the next room, there was a woman, and she was hanging from something from the ceiling. I mean, you know, not like a hook or anything, but she was like tied up from a swing or something from the ceiling, and she had a gag over her mouth. All the people had gags over their mouths, everyone in each room, and she was tied up with like leather straps, and like her, I mean, like you could see how she was real tight, you know, everything was real tight, and like the leather straps across her breast, and you know, like head to toe, like she was in a cocoon, and she, you know, you could see flesh. I mean, like the straps weren't right close to each other, they were kind of spread apart, and you could see like the straps were so tight that her flesh was bulging out, and it was real red, like she'd been smacked or hit. And she just looked completely dazed, totally dazed, and it was just like vulgar. It was just disgusting. And she, you know, in my mind, I knew she'd been sexually abused, and the kids too, and then been, you know, going on down the hall. In the next room there was a little black girl, and she was tied up, and she, you know, the same thing with her. And I remember I was just sick. I couldn't believe it. I was just appalled. And it seemed like this was like a good thing, like it was good, you know, it was accepted for these people, for these men to pay to come in to abuse these people. And then the next thing I know, I'm like in one of those rooms, and I'm standing there, and I'm me. I'm a person. I'm a participant in the dream now, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to let that happen to me. And I'm praying, Jesus, you've got to help me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to happen. Just do not renounce my name. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm not just going to lay down and let this happen to me. So I'm not tied up or anything yet. It's about to happen, and I know it's going to happen. And I'm like looking at this window. The window was, you know, big window like there was in every room, and there was like a big field, a big pasture in the background, and there were trees and mountains, and they might have been just trees. It was a big open pasture or field. And then I'm not sure if it was like a big, I'm gesturing with my hands, I'm not sure if it was a big mountain or just tall trees. whatever, but I can also see the sky in the background. I'm on an upper floor, not on the ground floor. I'm on an upper floor, and I remember thinking, okay, there's the sun, so that way must be east. Okay, I know I need to run that way to get home, and so I'm like making this plan in my mind, and I'm thinking, okay, is the window? Can I open the window? Do I smash through the window? What can And I'm like making these plans in my mind, and just I was scared, but at the same time I wasn't scared, and I wasn't going to go down easy. I was going to fight. I wasn't just going to let them do that to me. And so, anyway, I woke up, and as soon as I woke up, I hear something. I mean, I guess it was just a thought, but or maybe it was my own thought. But it occurred to me, those are Christians. Those people are Christians.
All right, so I wanted you to see that, and I wanted you to recognize that Joel tells us that in the end times, God's people are going to dream and have visions. I never would have thought in a million years that that would be possible when I had that dream in 2014. Now I'm seeing this. I'm seeing these things play out. I'm hearing it. Sorry, I had a little minor difficulty. My video cut off there, but I just want to close by saying that I can tell in my dream that I was in my area because I knew where I was. I knew where to try to get to. I think this dream was a warning. And why does God give warnings? So that we can change something. I feel specifically that what's coming can be stopped. We can do something. We don't have to let it get as far as it did in my dream. I pray to God that that dream does not come true. It was terrifying. I really do think God's people can stop this. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to stop this, but somebody somewhere knows what to do, and I want to do whatever it is that I can do. You know, my friend in Pakistan, he has a Christian school there. He's the principal of a Christian school, and he, whenever I start talking about the Second Amendment and things like that, he just doesn't understand. He tries to discourage me from wanting to try to fight back, but you know, they teach peace and turn the other cheek, and they just accept that whenever their time comes, they're just gonna lay down and be beheaded or whatever. That's the way that they think in the Muslim countries. This is how Muslims hope that we're going to be. And I know you've probably seen, if you watch YouTube videos about what's happening in the Middle East, or you watch underground news, you know that whenever push comes to shove, they will turn tail and run when somebody actually stands up to them. And especially women, they think if a woman kills somebody that they go to hell automatically. Jesus did teach his followers to turn the other cheek, but that was only during times of peace. If you'll watch what's happening in the narrative, when Jesus was telling his disciples that if somebody, slaps you, just turn the other cheek and keep the peace. But if you look in the narrative, when trouble started happening and the storm clouds started rising, Luke 22:36, he told his disciples, but now if you have a money bag, take it, and a traveler's bag, and if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. I believe that's what he wants us to do. I really do. I just don't know who is going to lead us. I don't know how to do it. But I know somebody's going to step up. All we know to do, all we can do is pray.